Hello everyone, my name is Jasmo, and today is Wednesday. The first Wednesday in July. We're now in July in summery weather and months, but today I'm going to be coloring some lines by Ronnie Solano. Solano, there you go. And these lines are called Nasty Predator. Now, I have a folder full of Predator lines and a folder full of everyone else's lines, which is basically like superhero lines or just really cool things I'd like to color, and they're actually in about equal numbers. And the last I checked, I had well over 100 pieces of plain old, well, not plain old lines, but other lines that weren't these dudes, and I do like to color these guys. I just don't do it very often, at least not live, and off the bat, I think this is a finger, but I'm not sure. Actually, it probably is, because this is beefy over here. Anyways, I love Ronnie's lines, not because they're Predator lines, it's because of the way he draws these lines. They are very nice, they're very clean. I like the thick outer lines, the thinner inner lines for details. I just really like the way that these are made. So his lines are always very attractive for me to color. And I don't know what colors, what to shade with. I did flat this beforehand. These are my color choices for the flats. I was originally going to do purple skin with silver armor, but I thought let's put some more contrast in there. I know we've got the green, but let's put a little bit more in there because the direct opposite color of at least a purple, an equal mix of red and blue, is yellow. So I kind of went off to the side a little bit to get some orange, and off to the other side a little bit to get some green, to get some higher contrast in. Yeah. Let's do something. But I'm not quite sure what. I also like Ronnie's lines because there are no inked shadows. These lines are very open. You can put a light source anywhere and it will look correct. It won't look like it's battling with what is already there, which sometimes I do inadvertently, but sometimes the inkers also don't put in all of the shadow inks in the correct places, which makes things a little hard, but they still come out really great. I kind of want to put an overlay on, just to try a few things. I don't know if that's a finger or not. We'll decide later if that gap is a finger or a claw. I want to say it's a finger because these fingers are very huge, very thick. Let's come down here. Let's just find an orange. Find an orange. Yellow. This is gonna look really awful to begin with, but just to give me a little something. Okay. Oh, the blue's in the background. That's okay. Let's do this. Let's actually just do a black and white. Come here. Black and white overlay. Let's see if I... Ooh. What happened? Oh my god. Okay, I think I nixed the leg on purpose. Oh, yeah, those are the original lines. Boop. I did nix the bottom leg of this piece because I liked how it cut off at the sword rather than not. I guess we could nix it around here, but I've already edited the lines. I keep the original lines just in case I don't like how I do something. But I like how it kind of cut off and gave this very sharp angle with the sword, so that's why it's like that. And the background doesn't really matter. I just threw it in there to get some color. It could be, however, atmospheric perspective-wise, colors are usually darker up top and more grayed out and lighter at the bottom, usually. Okay. The reason I'd like a light source up here is because there's a lot of flat area on the chest, right? That's like where the light would hit. And it would make a really nice shadow here and here. And it would make all of this area in shadow and all of like most of that in shadow and pretty much kind of like so in shadow. Sure, why not? Okay, we don't need that anymore. We just need to pick a color. Now I usually like to start with the smallest planes of color first, whatever there is the least amount of, because I tend to forget the little details. Dude. Go grab our brush. Oop, past it. Are you big enough? You're big enough. And there we go. Let's pop up here. Maybe more towards... I don't know. This could be an alien planet. There is no background in Ronnie's pieces most of the time, which I also appreciate because it allows me to put these guys wherever. Just wherever. Maybe let's go a little... for some reason, yellow is equaling stingy for me. Move everything toward the... Let's move everything towards the yellow. Yellow shadows. And if we don't like it, we can redo it. Not a problem. Not a problem. And these are gems, so they're going to have a high saturation point. Here we go. All these green things are going to be transparent, glassy, shiny things. So we will color them as such. Even these little cheek pieces, even though it's not practical, we'll make it practical for today. My practicality totally stagnates my creativity, like 100% of the time. Something to battle against. So I probably won't get as much shine as this one will, since our light is coming from the top left, which is probably one of my favorite directions to put light. I don't know. It's always in a top corner, rarely a bottom corner, but if I get to doing a bottom corner, it can turn out real cool. And these are just the mid-tones I'm putting on right now. They're not the darkest darks, and they aren't the lightest lights. Okay, that's the face for now. We'll come back in and render them more later. Actually, that's wrong. I think I've been shading these wrong. Okay. Gems. Gems actually kind of have a formula as to how you shade them, if you know what direction the light is coming from. And it's a lot more simple to shade it with just a singular light source than many, or an ambient light source. There we go. Because light will shine in a very singular spot on a gem. You might have a little aura of light here, but this will be the brightest part of the gem. Then all of the light comes down this way. And it gets shown on the back of the gem, on the back side of the gem. It's kind of how water works too. So the darkest part of a gem is actually right next to the lightest part. Most of the time, in most cases. These little tiny pieces. So they're going to be mostly in shadow anyways. We'll just kind of float over. Float. That's going to be interesting because it's a tiny space. The one thing I do wish Ronnie would do is scan these at like an enormous resolution to make these lines huge. Because that would give me more room to put in detail on these smaller areas, and that's really the only thing. But it would also be a little bit harder to color them because memory, computers. You can't get files too large without paying for it in some fashion. Because my computer has issues running programs that... not running programs, GIMP. Images that are of a certain size can really hassle me. It can be really hassling because GIMP will crash often if your images are huge. This image is not huge. A huge image would be like even 4,000 pixels across by 5,000 pixels tall. That's huge. Enormously huge. And I can do about a 3,000 by 2,000 canvas very safely and very comfortably without any lag or any issues. But and as few layers as I can manage. Which is to like up to 15 or so layers. Anything more than that and you run a higher risk, at least I do on my computer, of crashing GIMP and having it not work great. And I don't know what the actual specs are of my computer other than it has an SSD in it, and that's about it. Dark spot. I like putting the dark spot first to remind me where the light goes. I think this is the last of the green, too. Yeah? Cut in on that dark just a little bit. Gotta actually go over the dark to make it look believable. Believable, there we go. That's essentially what, some or most artists, I don't know if it's what most artists strive for, but that's kind of what I strive for, is to make things look believable. And I guess it's actually what every artist strives for. Even the ones that do the fantastical MC Escher, like MC Escher art, everything looks believable in it because it's rendered in a certain way, even though it can't possibly exist, or your brain can't quite wrap itself around all of those stairs. Let's go with like a super saturated hue and an even darker yellow. Okay, but I'm gonna be real gentle in those cases. I probably should have built up the dark before I stuck on the light. That's okay. This is where foobar is up here. Will that be light enough? It probably will be. It probably will be, and it's okay to stick the dark over the light because you'll come in and it's one dot like so. Like so. We might put a kick light or a reflected light in here too. A little more interest, not that bright. Just a little bit, just a little hint on these. Did I even? I did not. There we go. Okay. Where's the 100%? This is the 100% view. Very nice, so far. So far. I'm literally just going over the same spot again and again to kind of build up that color. Except for that. Except for that. Down here we'll build it up. Nice and easy. How does that look? It looks maybe not crystal clear, but definitely shiny. And this is no references. If you are an artist of any kind, references are your friend. Even if you are like super beginner, you like to doodle on paper while you're studying or listening to music, references are key, and they're great. It's not cheating, it's learning. How else are you going to learn if you can't look at the thing that you're trying to draw or render? It's a bit difficult, and it will never turn out quite the way you'd like it to. Studies are a great way to help you find methods to create the thing that you want to create before you dive off in any other direction. do this guy, because it almost got forgotten. It was almost forgotten. These won't get too much love. Because they're such a small thing that if we put any color in there, it will look okay. It'll just kind of auto look okay. It's got stuff on it. Just pick the places. And this one, you don't have to do too crazy of things, because these are once again very small spaces. It's very hard to get in the detail. There. Let me guess. Oh good, it's all on the shading. All on the shading. I like to put everything on a separate layer just in case I don't like it so I can erase it later. And before I make any mistakes, I'm going to duplicate my flats layer and then just tuck it underneath there. Just in case I do end up coloring on the flats layer, I'll have a backup. Okay. Next, smallest amount of color. What would you be? Gray? It's a lot of gray. I think this brown right here. That was probably actually the smallest, and then black. Ooh, no. Gray, or brown. This thing, whatever this is. Fur. And we're gonna move our shadows towards the yellow side of things. There we go. There we go. Hang on. Just a sec. Where are you? Going around here. There you are. I said hello. Hello on YouTube. Isabel, there we go. Just doing a little predator work today. And fur is not saturated. Crap, I've already forgotten what I want to move my highlights towards. No, I don't remember. No, the shadows were already yellow, and then I got sidetracked and made green super saturated, so I guess just the usual. Okay, arms are round. Arms are round, so we'll find our shadows away. Probably a little something like that. Get in close and personal. Okay. I'm just gonna work back and forth, light, dark, dark, light. This one is definitely above the thing, but this kind of looks like it gets below. The fur finally gets tucked below right here. This little smidgen up here that's out. So we can make it like so. This will just be base layer. I'm gonna smudge the crap out of it to kind of just get a base layer of shape. Pop the wrist, there we go. It's not a necessary step, I just like to do it. Don't need to smudge hair to make it look like hair. There. We'll do pretty light, bright lights, I think. Yeah. Why not? Why not? Bright lights. Since this character's lower body is kind of naturally cut off, we can do things for the background. We can put them in a forest and have bushes kind of come up around their legs to show that the bushes are hiding the lower part, or I've done fog. Ronnie's done some water ones, which are really cool. I love putting in reflections. Water wouldn't do so great here because we're cut off at an angle, like a really sick, sharp angle. Fur's looking okay. A little bland. But we don't need the fur to be the stellar piece. It's not what we're looking for. Okay. Just looking for good rendering with the same light source. Or, yeah, decent rendering with the same light source. So, for this, it will be a decision. And I'm not totally sure when it will be made. There's not too much bone going on. We could do bone next. There's not too much bone going on, says the shoulder pad and the helmet. Is that bone there? Yeah, it is. Okay. Copper. I tried really hard to get a copper base color, and man, oh man, oh man. Copper is orange. Gold is orange. Bronze is orange. They're all frickin' orange based in the shadows. Gold is not yellow as much as everyone wants it to be. And I say that from an artist rendering perspective. If you took a picture of a gold bar, yeah, you'd probably call that yellow. If it didn't have any other objects reflected in the shiny surface, you would most likely call it yellow of some kind. But when you're arting gold, it is anything but yellow. That's all the same gray. We got little tidbits of copper everywhere. I like to save the skin for last. Just because that's like the cool part, actually. Dink. Got some little tiny... Okay, those don't count. Got some little tiny light silver, light metal color that I forgot about, but is totally fine being that color. We're gonna do shadows are in yellow. Shadows are yellow, shadows are yellow. Okay. We're gonna do an orange base shadow with like a definite darker yellow shadow. Now, shading in greens and yellows is a difficult thing to do because there's not much in the world that has a naturally green or yellow hue to it when there's a shadow on it. Shadows are most of the time blue. Like if you go out on a sunny day and you look at anyone's house, no matter what color the house is, look at the sunny side, look at the shady side. The shady side will look more blue than the sunny side. Doesn't matter what the color of the house is. It could be a red house. It'll still have a more blue shaded side. It could be a yellow house. It'll still have a more blue shaded side. So conquering a yellow and green shadow to make it look good is, for me at least, difficult. Where... I'm going to assume this curves out, and this curves in. And then that curves in again. Okay. Trying to figure out the contour of the blade, which is harder than it sounds. So this blade is going to curve inward, and this one's going to have a lot of light right there. And we had larger. There we go. Brush. So this guy will be in shadow too, for sure. For sure. And let me just click, there we go. And one more little thing. Refresh that so I can make the video stop buffering. Please stop buffering. There we go. Much better. Much better. I am streaming to 3 different websites right now. Twitch, Watch Me Work, and YouTube. So we've got things. Things going on. Dark. There we go. Okay. I decided to dive into only the shadow on this side, because I was not sure as to what the light is going to be. Maybe I thought it was going to be all green. We can try. It's not going to be that shiny. That shiny, for sure. There will be light. The top left. Because I like light coming from the top left. This will be the shiny one. That's the height of the blade, because the blade will curve up and then over right here, because it has to get thin on the sharp side, and I'm assuming it's sharp on this top side because of this contour line right here, because it has a contour line. If it didn't have a contour line, I would totally expect the top of this to be thick, a lot thicker. I like to compartmentalize what I shade, but that doesn't mean everyone does. And that's okay. I just have my own method of shading things. That's all gonna be that. What next? Probably bone? That's a lot of bone down. It's a lot of bone. A lot. There's still, it's almost like it's not equal amounts, but let's do black. Let's do the black. Black, it's in the blue, so we'll stick it down here in this color. It's not super easy to decipher where the colors are going in the shades, in the shadows. So far. That's okay. This looks kind of like plated leather. Don't know if that's a thing or not. Let's see. Shadow. We're going to have only one directional light source, just to keep things simple. Oh, there's a thumbnail there. Okay. Light source. That's gonna be the highlight. Okay. We save that thumbnail before it gets forgotten. There you are. These guys have shiny nails, believe it or not. They're actually fairly bright. Let's get that in there. There we go. There. None of his fingernails are visible on the other side, so we don't need to worry about that. Okay. Let's focus down yonder. See, leather is not very shiny, and that's what I assume they wear 99% of the time. Anything that doesn't look like fur is usually leather of some kind. He does have muscle contours that this would follow. That this little band would follow, even though the lines are just a beautiful curve right here. They would still follow the muscle shape, but we probably won't shade it following the muscle shape because the lines tell a different story. Can I just scroll this on here? Yes, I can scroll it on there, good. Got a little bit of shadow from these. Everything is round to a degree. Okay. We might put a little green highlight from the gems on the leather of where it is actually touching the leather. These 4 in particular, maybe just these top 3 because they actually look set into the leather, because there's literally nothing else connecting them. They are just like sitting there in between the bone, which means the bone is probably set to the leather as well, because they're not actually connected to one another. This way. There we go. Ah, thank you, Isabel. Glad you like it. Oh, that's a huge brush. Oh. There we go. Wrong color. There we go. I'm gonna try and really gently highlight, just very gently, because leather is not shiny. It is soft. It does not reflect light very much. Very much at all. We definitely have shadow here. And if I'm seeing the layers right, it would also have a shadow here. Not a very big one. We still have one. And of course, this looks like folds or little contoury pieces. Structure. It looks like structure in the folds of the fabric. Ooh, that's really bright. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. There. Well, actually, side hip. Everything is round. His arm, I'm gonna say, is behind. Is behind, because even the skull is behind the leg. And this hand is actually behind the leg too, so we can say that this arm is far enough behind the body to allow highlight to be right in this area, which is usually not the case. Most people have characters where their hands are relatively to the sides of their bodies, or like hands in the pockets, or they're holding something, and at rest, naturally, your arms are at your sides. So it would make sense. Pull back in. Okay. Just want a little shadow. Just a little one. Okay. Moving on up. I could have actually been doing this with texture, or a different brush to make it more texture and less smooth. I will be using a different brush for the metal and the bones, for sure. Ooh, Ronnie, I love it when your little strapadoos follow the contour of the body line, the muscles. See how this comes up and it follows the abs and the chest. The weird things you enjoy. The little things. Alright, this whole side, probably to about there, is going to be a shadow. And... dude, bicep. Frickin' A. Light. Not light, because structured things. I don't know. The strap is beneath the shoulder piece. It is. And I see I missed a spot. Darn pixels. There. Okay. Shiniest part of the leather straps is going to be right here. I'm going to say that's where the sun is going to hit hardest, is chest, center chest. Because why not? Oh, the hair, okay. The hair. I love and not so love hair. These guys' hair. It can be, it can hurt your wrist. Don't know why those aren't selected. Okay, that's fine. That might be one reason why I don't just adamantly color my entire folder's worth of Predator lines constantly, is because the hair. Because I shade the hair in a very specific way. Probably be a little more bold right there. There we go. Okay. Neck piece. Next, I'm pretty much avoiding the hair for now, just so I can get everything else done, so I don't forget anything. Let's go with the general route. Yep, the continued wish that Ronnie's lines were of an enormous resolution continues. Because these tight spaces, it's not only difficult to put detail in there, but it can actually be distracting when you put too much detail in tight spaces, I have found, which is odd but true. That actually goes for anyone's art. If they put, if you don't want to focus on a very specific part of the art, you can't really put too much detail anywhere. Or you put absolute detail everywhere and it's just a smorgasbord for your eyes. That looks good, that looks good. Okay, hair. We'll dive. We'll dive. And I think it was last year I finally got confident enough to just slather the color on first and worry about everything else later, instead of really trying to follow the method that was developed many, many years ago. Just to save my sanity and to make it a little bit faster and less painful to actually shade these dudes' hair, because my god, it can be a pain. I'm not gonna worry about the little whiskers. Yeah, I'm just gonna color right over them for now, so I don't have to worry about them, because they're not a different color. They're the same color as the hair, yeah, of which they usually tend to be in the movies. And movies are canon? Yeah. And canon, for any particular story or movie, the canon are like the absolute facts of that universe. As far as I know. I don't actually know that for certain. That is just how I understand it to be. Because there have been a few instances where folks have gotten upset over canon. And then everyone, I think, or not everyone, but some people have their own head canon, which I think is their facts for the universe that they would like to have, versus what is actually there. Kind of. That's alright. Another tight detail spot. Little hair pieces. These need a little bit of detail. Okay, so then we go back in and we erase pieces, because this hair, or at least the back hair, is in shadow, and this will help create the highlight. So I colored it all in the mid-range dark color first, so I can erase it back to the base color, because we're going to do stuff. I'm going to add it just that mid-light, somewhere in there, for that shine that will come shortly. Okay. These guys can have really shiny hair or not very shiny hair. Depends on a lot. Oh, that's really dark. And yeah. Still coloring over these whisker bits right here for now, so I can shade them properly after, not have to worry about them during. Is that bright enough? I don't think that's bright enough. That's not bright enough. We're kind of going on the higher end of light, like more contrast. We're doing more contrast. Kind of, yes. The leather doesn't get a huge amount of contrast because it's a soft, matte object. But for the shiny things, they should be relatively shiny, particularly here. I have to shake my wrist out before going in and finishing the hair. That's for sure. Not as strong, not as strong. And these are in the back for the most part. There we go. Zealous or good afternoon. How are you doing today? Hope you had a good weekend. Don't color the belt. Don't color the belt. There we go. My voice is coming in only on the left channel, by the way. God, no, I broke it. Maybe? Hey, there we go. It's registering. I hope that fixed it. Thank you, by the way. I would have never known. Okay. There, sweet. Awesome. Fixed. Well, there's one little hair that kind of escaped all the shading. There. Alright, at least you were wearing headphones. I guess I would not have known if you had not mentioned it. Okay. Right, let go. Let go. Thank you. Save often. And now the fun part. Oh, got a bumpy start in Dwarf Fortress. Did you finish your 10-year? Your 10-year challenge? I think that's good. Now the fun part, smudging. Whee! Gotta keep a nice, loose grip on the stylus. Gotta try anyways. So don't cramp the hand. Oh. Not yet. Not yet on the 10-year, alright. What is this? Go away, shiny. Don't need you down there. Oh. You ran out of things to do on the 10-year challenge. At that point, wouldn't you just let it run? Kind of keep an eye on it? Merchant things? I don't know. Lady Oucha, hello. Indeed, indeed. I'm doing a Predator piece because otherwise I will forget to do my monthly Predator piece, because I do a Predator of the Month on DeviantArt, except I have not been consistent about it at all this year, like at all, because I haven't actually colored any recently, and I realized I'm pretty much only work while I stream, which may seem odd because I only stream for a couple hours, but I guess I do work when I'm not streaming. But I don't particularly do digital colors when I'm not streaming. So I needed to do it. Then why not? I think I'll do one probably every month for the following month, so I can keep up. Gotta love that schedule. Oh, this hair is murder. This hair is murder because I'm doing a curving motion, one way or the other. Yeah, I did last year. I think I did a better job of it, of keeping up on it. And this year, I just awful. Have not kept up on it at all. Oh, wrist. Okay. Oh, nope, not done yet. Okay, and these dudes, they don't need too much detail, just a little swipe-a-do will do. There we go. Yes? Please tell me that's all the strands, please. Thank God, I think that's all the strands. Oh, man. Oh, let me just spill water on my tablet. That's okay. It's all good. So, Zalisar, can you build your fortress skyward instead of just into the ground? You can't. I'm pretty sure you could. What would be neat? Here's an idea: is build your fortress a little bit skyward, and then start building a bridge, and then start building a second fort on the other side of that bridge from the top down. Or little lookout towers, or something. How did your tree farm go? Did that underground tree farm thing work? Oh, I missed a piece of skin. Okay. I'm not done yet on the black. I am not. We are not. Hand me the tiniest of brushes to not color on the flats, so we can color these little whisker things correctly. If I can find them all. Yes, okay. There we go, and this side is pretty much dark. It's just dark. It's just meh with a little tiny bit of light. Tree farm's going awesome. Oh, that'd be really cool. Have like a mini village. I guess it wouldn't be too many though. Okay. Okay. Let's shade that a little bit. Let's... Oh, nope, wrong color. We actually probably won't see this too well. Oh, I do believe the reason I was doing Predator of the Month was because of the snafu that happened in 2011, where I got really butthurt and took down everything in my gallery on DeviantArt. And then when I started posting things, I refused to post anything Predator related. And then eventually I started slowly posting Predator-related things, except they were fan fictions and fan art. And I decided I would only post these Predator pieces once a month, instead of every time I finished one. To kind of safeguard against the snafu that happened, I think it was 2011. Because that was just awful. That was really awful. What now? I think we finished all the dark color. Well, kind of finished all the dark color. Let's use a fuzzy brush. Because, yeah, we don't have like the super dark shadow over yonder. There we go. You're also encamped near the Necromancer's Tower? Just to make things interesting. Oh my god, I'm sure those will be interesting times for your dudes. And, oh, those poor dwarves. Those poor unfortunate dwarves. Oh, no, shrink. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Legions of undead. Yeah, they might lay siege to the fort. Just small chance. Gotta get that up there. There we go. Blur the edge into a shadow. Blur the edge into the shadow. There we go. That should do. That should do. Yep. Oh, let me just get water all over my desk. Funny thing about the desk is there is one circular spot about the perfect size of my coffee mug that has like crackled the top of it. Because I didn't realize that my coffee mug was too hot to put on my desk without a coaster until it already put a mark. But oddly enough, that is exactly where I put my drink every single time. There is no deviation. Kind of want to do the metal next, but there's a lot of it. Let's do the bone, and then the silver, and then the copper. Yeah. Bone, silver, then copper. And bone is going to get a different brush. But which one is the question? We can experiment. Well, after we choose our colors here. No. I was gonna go with this. I think that'll work. Maybe not this size. Maybe not even that size, but it'll work. This'll work. Yeah. That'll do. Shrink. There we go. Just gonna really quickly put in some general shapes of where things might be highlighted, because I'm not entirely sure what shape this shoulder piece is. Not a clue. Absolutely not a clue. There we go. That's a very, very good question. What bone of what animal is on this shoulder? Not a clue. Not a faint clue. You'd have to ask Ronnie, the person who drew this. And Ronnie's reply might be, it's not a bone at all. It wasn't supposed to be a bone. I only chose it to be a bone to help balance the colors of the overall piece. This giant shoulder piece thing, it could be a tooth, it could be a bone-like color, or it could be made out of an entirely different material. I don't know for sure. And that's half the fun in coloring lines like these. You don't know. You can kind of make up whatever. There we go. And I don't even know if all of these pieces on the mask are bone either. I just kind of chose it for the balance. That needs to not happen. Actually, it's okay if it does. So we'll just do that. Yep. It could be a dragon of some kind, totally. It does look more or less like a dragon head. It could be a different animal altogether. It doesn't even have to be the one that he's holding. That's why I love coloring these two. Oh, not just the way that Ronnie colors, but kind of the story you can make around it too. Okay, that's good. Oh, this. Oh, yeah. This is gonna be mostly in shadow here. Just a touch of light right there. And then this is mostly in shadow. Okay. Too small. God, jeez, huge. Okay. Everything is round. Wrong color. There we go. There we go. And light that, oh, wrong color. Shadow, 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 shadow. If light's coming from that direction, and it's quite literally just off to the side, directly off to the left side, but up here, where is our light falling on this? Not a lot of places. That's okay. It doesn't need to. Definitely not down there. Okay. Maybe about half of that. Okay. Probably about like so. These are just the midtones still as well. We still have a darker shadow color and a lighter highlight color to go through. till about there. Okay. Yep. Here we go. And the eraser is your friend. The eraser can actually add in a bunch of detail. If you let it. This guy. Just put in a couple extra highlight majigs. And need a little more work on the spikes before we grab those other colors. So I wanted to get, yeah. Kinda like so. Okay. Shiny. Not shiny. Okay. Is that too big? It might be. Really need this around the 20s. There we go. Trying to find the darkest spot in here. Because reflected light. Because light will be bouncing off of this guy over here onto this part right there, so if you let it, if you want to get that complicated, don't need to. Don't really need to. Maybe a little more saturation in here. There we go. Much better. Less gray. Way less. Yes, much better, much better. Don't really need too much of the super dark color up here on the face and the shoulders, because there's a lot of light up here, so there should be way more light. Let's say right there. It's kind of, yep. Make that real stupid shiny. There we go. That also depends on how polished the bone is. Don't actually know. We don't know if this hunter takes care of his stuff. Alright, Lady Oucha, thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. And I will catch you next time. How shiny is that? It's really shiny. All the shine. There we go. Okay. Gets tiny, gets small, get real small. Of course, there's a lot of detail from the brush when you get this small, but that's okay. We'll just need the general light anyways. There we go. Mac, good afternoon. Hope you had a great weekend and that your day is going well. Is that all of them? That is all of them, but erase that one. Okay. There we go. Face is good. We have some, yeah, we've got that reflected thing going on. Why are you on that brush? Is that the right brush? Okay, that is the right brush. Oh, I almost freaked out. Just about had it. Thought I was on my glitter brush instead. Damn near gave me a heart attack. Push Finish that shadow nice and deep. We'll have some high contrast right here. Because we can. Yeah. Nope. There we go. Okay. These will be stupidly bright. Sure. Sure. Why not? Cool. Everything is gonna look funny until it's all shaded. Which we have the silver and the copper and the rest of the bone and skin to finish. I think for now we are done up here, so we can come down here. We can play and have fun down here. I totally missed my break. Oh no, I totally missed my break. That's okay. That's okay. Let me finish up this sword. Did my thing buzz? Usually I'm pretty spot on about that. Okay. Alright, I am going to get up, stretch, all that good stuff. If you've been watching for a while, I encourage you to do the same, and I will meet you back here in about 3 minutes. Alright, we are back. Can't believe I missed my break time. I guess I got really into it. Okay. There we go. There we go. Oh yeah, this. This. And if you are just tuning in, hello, my name is Jasmo, and today I am coloring some Predator lines by Ronnie Solano from DeviantArt. Solano from DeviantArt. Let me mispronounce the name. Always. My bad. I know Ronnie as Dead Clown, because that was their original name on DeviantArt back in the day. And apparently I'm offline. Yay. Who knew? Or not. Twitch is weird. Twitch is really weird. I'm just gonna cruise right along and keep coloring. Well, I got a few more things left. Get that eraser in there doing some work. How does? Sure. Everything's gonna look weird until it's all shaded. Except we set it directly to the side. But from the upper left. Oh dear. Don't give that back. There we go. Sideshow, hello! How are you doing today? Hope you had a good weekend. And that things weren't too loud last night, keeping you awake. I know Fairy Wings was quite sleep deprived this morning. Yes, good. There we go. Now for this. Just getting your day started. Dink. Sure. Dang, until 4 AM around there. Dang, man. Wrong color. That was super dark. Our neighbors were actually considerate, and I fell asleep around 11:30, so I don't know if anyone did keep firing off fireworks after that. I was either too tired to care, or at about 11:30 everyone just shut up for the night. Might have been that everyone shut up for the night, because I think a fair amount of people went to work today. Totally fine by me. There we go. So dark. Oh well. Oh wow, looking to move. The Pacific Northwest is quite friendly. And the cost of living is not expensive. I'm drawing faces. Yeah, I've been keeping track on Instagram. I am loving what you are making. Absolutely. kind of stuck on the latest big one. The 22 by 30. That is a big one. Is that the two people one? Or is that a new one? Hurt? Where are you? Yeah. The two gals? Yeah. Dude, the colors on that are amazing. There's some really, really nice design elements in there that I just noticed because I was looking. Like, where are you having problems on this one? As I stare intently at it. Dude, your hands are looking so good. A good lighting and shadow pass. You kinda already have one on there, but yeah. He sees where he means. Gotta pick your light source. But these still look amazing even without a shadow pass. A light and shadow pass. We'll leave the details for later. Up yonder there. If you, Sideshow, if you ever need a critique or anything, I will happily do so. Even if it's just like a red line outlining like where some shadows could go or things like that. This might need a different touch. Round. Everything is round, but swords are fairly flat. There we go. Flatten that out just a little bit there. Although, should be a little more round up until about there. Smooth looking too, rather than cloudy shaped. Okay, more light, less shadow. Good, good, good. There. Gotta put in the shadows. Gotta put them in. See that? Right there. There we go. Ooh, sculpture class. Sculpture class hype. Four days. Nice. Nervous at all? Birds? Oh my god, that dove scared the crap out of me. Oh man. Recently got a fence in. Birds like to fly over the fence instead of land on it. The too ambitious approach. Like, you can always pare back if something does end up being too ambitious. Even if you really, really, really want to follow through with it. How's that? Sword. Can't forget sword. Have a 10-inch high stack of ideas ready to go. Oh man. And you have to just pick one or two. Yep, that's the hard part. Picking just one or two. I hope you literally mean you have a written stack of ideas. That would be awesome. Even if it's not a literal stack of ideas, that's still awesome. Yes, that sword is far too not marred up. We'll put texture to it. We'll put some texture to it. Put a new layer on and put some texture to it. It needs scratches and dents and things. Maybe not that dark and light. Maybe this one? Sure, we'll see. I'm just gonna scribble the crap out of this, actually. Just kind of... It's a new layer. If we don't like it, we will nix it. Actually, all the damage would probably be up here in this area. Of color oh my god. Oh, it is a literal stack of color. Oh my god, compositions and lightworks. Jesus. You've got work. You've got work to do. How do I make this scratchier looking? Kind of. No kidding, you went ham a little bit. What I normally do for texture is I actually have a whole folder called textures of various different kinds. All stock photos. And this is why I generally don't sell the things that I use stock photos in, because not only is it fan art, but someone else drew it. So there's layers and layers and layers. But for scratchy, scourgy metal, it is film. Yes. And this lithofilm 3, if you overlay it just right, it makes an amazing metal texture. Might be a little big though. might be just a touch big. And actually, we'll rotate that first. Yeah, sure. Why not? There we go. Now we can do this. The whole thing, maybe? Yes. There we go. That looks awful. That looks better. Sure, we'll try. No, we'll keep the color on this one. We'll keep the color, just for funsies. Normally I would do that to like all the metal, all over, because it adds a nice flavor. It's not hand-drawn, of course. Everything looks more uniform when it is, but yeah, I'm gonna keep it. Possibly. I'll turn it off and then turn it on later. Later. Alright, copper. The thing I've not been looking forward to. Copper's also going to be metal, so it's going to be this brush. It's an ugly color. Oh god, why? Just a little darker. Okay. That's the whole theme of this entire piece is yellow shadows. Best idea never. Best idea never. Oh, okay. There we go. Yep. I really would like to have a successful piece have green and or yellow shadows, just like without being entirely super saturated green, just a normal piece to have yellow shadows and look natural at the same time. It may be impossible. At least the way that I approach it, it may be impossible. Because, god, yellow shadows never occur unless there's some weird reflected light shenanigans going on. Stick with it though. Yeah, he was wearing a copper belt. Take care of that later. This could have a little more shape to it. I'm gonna ignore the beads for now so I can shade the shoulder piece in piece, basically. Just so I don't have to finagle anything weird. Yes, maybe. It's at a weird angle compared to the other dude. There we go. There, now we can kind of hop in there and grab some of those. Okay. Oh, wrong color. Jeez. Jeez. Scared me. Like, my heart actually sinks sometimes when I do this. Instead of with the right color. Oh man. It's startling. It is very, very startling. Put just a little light out here. Not very much. Is an awful yellow. Please be okay. I'm like, please be a better yellow. Please be a high contrast, really dark color that I won't regret. That would be nice. And then this dude, come here. Why does this remind me of butternut squash? This color combination right here, this yellow on the orange, reminds me of butternut squash. Weird. Yeah, well, yeah, there we go. Get some of that texture in there. Probably should have waited to put in the shadows, but that's fine. Nah, it's fine. It's fine. Can I smudge this safely without losing texture? Kind of. That's cool. Okay, tiny core shadow. Tiny core shadow. Which isn't really tiny on that one, but oh well. So there's like a little thing. There we go. Doot. Okay. I made it this small for these freaking beads. Doot. A little bit. Oh god, too much. There we go. Gotta make the sounds. Won't work if you don't make the sounds. Oh god. Go. There we go. And a little bit bigger. Oh, yeah, that'll be fine. Maybe not that big. There. Yoink. A little more interesting and less awful colored. There we go. That and sword. Which I kind of foobarred on the flats right there. Right there. That's okay. Only I notice. Only I notice. There. Good enough. Fixed it. Good enough. Oh my, we are getting there. We are getting there, and I'm offline on Twitch again. Alright. They might be having an overload thingamajig because of SGDQ. That's right, Summer Games Done Quick is going on this week. I think they started on... Damn, when did they start? Sunday? This last Sunday? They've already raised $500,000 for Doctors Without Borders. And Summer Games Done Quick, if you are not a gamer, it is basically a week-long marathon of a whole bunch of people speed-running games for charity. It's an amazing event that gets better every year. And they have raffle prizes, throughout the week. They have some grand raffle prizes like a Corsair computer, some amazing stuff, and there's a lot of donated gifts as well. And there's a lot of donation incentives, like there's going to be a blind run of Majora's Mask fighting Majora's Mask blindfolded, and the donation incentive for that is 5 million bits, because SGDQ actually accepts bits through Twitch this year. And I believe they just passed 1 million bits this morning. There we go. Yes, okay. Shading. Shading. We are on to the last part of shading, other than the background, which the background is probably going to be really, really simple. Okay. Well, this counts as an orange, doesn't it? Nice. So it's not going to look totally weird. It's not gonna look totally weird until I get in there. Something needs to be darker. There we go. There we go, because we are shading with orange and yellow shadows today. And highlighting kind of in yellows and greens a little bit. Just for kind of more or less a color experiment or a color exercise. It's generally what I use these pieces for. Head crest there, so I don't have to worry about that. Get neck, so I don't have to worry about that. All the little pieces. I'm trying to get all the little pieces so I don't have to worry about them. Some hair shadows going on. Get that point in the right direction. There we go. Get the light in there where we'd like it to be before I move on, so I don't foobar that. Probably leave the shadows till last. I always color over them. Oh man, unintentionally. Alright. Working top down. Okay. Top down. Gonna highlight all the pieces that need highlighting that I always forget about. Which are this space in between muscles on anyone, male or female. This space in between the muscles, this valley, is actually like the shiniest spot on a person's body most of the time. Not entirely sure as to why that is, but if you look at a lot of photos, you'll notice that there is a shiny spot. Same with the abs and in between the muscles. In this area right here is usually the shiniest. It's weird, but it's a thing. And that helps make figures look more believable if they don't have clothes on, and you're trying to do an anatomy study or anything. I don't know how to shade this bicep. My god, it is huge. This is the hard line shadow that we're going for. Okay. Yep. You can put in really rough general light and shadow for now, and then go back and refine. Kind of like I already put in a really loose, this is shadow type of deal. There. This shadow muscle. Muscled shadow. All the light is coming from the upper left. So all the light's going to be centered here, and all the shadows will be on the side. And that will cast big shadow thingamajig there. No light's going to get on this leg, at least not the highlight color. That's why erasers are useful. There we go. Words. And we will treat this scar when we get to it. Scars get special treatment. Actually, just a little bit of shadow. Okay. All the light is hitting around in this general area. And refining. We're going to come in and just keep refining. Oh, ding. RMC Arts, hello, and thank you. Glad you like it. Bigger brush for bigger area. There we go. Still on the fence about shading this bicep. Actually, that will do. Ooh, nope, nope. Oh god. Just okay. There we go. That's a little better. It's a little better. Let's there's muscles there. Okay. How are we looking in general overall? Pretty good. Okay, pretty good for a first pass. Wrong color. There we go. I think I found the correct, what is this, orange? Yeah, the correct orange at least for this particular shadow. Maybe we should treat this now, just so we have it. At least the general shape there. General shape, good. Okay. Continue the onslaught of refining. And I'll probably smudge out all of these too, which is fine because we'll go back in and add anything we need to. Okay, everything is round. Shiny right in the I guess it's a cleft? Would you call that a cleft? I don't know if you'd call that a cleft. Oh, and there is my brake alarm thing going off. So I'm going to get up, stretch, all that good stuff. If you've been watching for a while, I encourage you to do the same. And I will meet you back here in about 3 minutes. Oh my god, I didn't mute myself. Anyways, we're back. Ahem. We are back, and we are on the last leg of this particular piece. And not nearly as much texture got in there as I thought, but that's okay. These lines aren't huge. They're not at a very high resolution. So that's alright. Where were we? What were we doing? We were doing things. Yeah. Ah. Getting a little more refinement in. A little more. Oh dear. This one, okay. We're still using just the midtones too, currently. I'll wait to put that shadow in. I need a smaller brush for that, but I will worry about that in a moment. How are we looking? Pretty okay. Looking pretty okay. Dang. Okay. This is a knee right here. You can tell because these are quad muscles. So we know. We got in our general shapes, for the most part, wrong color. For the most part. Come back to these abs. There we go. There we go. That's good. Not gonna worry too much about the crest and the head. It's plenty fine. But are there places I would like to kind of smooth out, or am I gonna leave it all jaggedy? Usually I don't leave brush marks. Usually. But we can today. These guys aren't supposed to be totally smooth or anything like that. Put the shadow where it's supposed to be. There we go. You put the shadow on the muscle rather than below the muscle as if it's casting a shadow, because most of the time it doesn't look correct. Most of the time. Don't know why, but that has been my experience. It just takes a lot of observation, a lot of time observing things to find those little quirks. Like looking at a ton of stock photos, just paying real good attention whenever you watch TV or anything like that. Commercials, even games. You can see the lighting engines in the games, and you could even pick out like inaccuracies in some of the older game engines where they go wrong on the lighting. And it's not that they get the lighting incorrect, it's the shadows. Because on some games, some objects aren't solid, so the light passes right through them where there should be a shadow, that sort of thing. Okay. I did want to put a little green highlight through the gems wherever they are. Oh, this is just the first pass of... Ew. We still have... I'm gonna go about there. About there. Yep, we still have a really dark color and a really light color to go through. Because he looks pretty plain right now compared to the coppery armor and whatnot. It's because everything else has the same level of shading except for the skin. Which we'll start and go top down. shadow on the hair, just really up close. And if I'm not gonna smudge anything, I can put in the little drop shadows of everything. There we go. Yep. Yep. I'm gonna hit myself too. A lot. This is the shiny spot on everybody. Added it everywhere. But we're on the right track, and it's not going to be this super bright color everywhere. We're just going to use it to kind of lighten a couple of areas very gently, kind of build up the color. There's some of the shapes of the form. There's not going to be a whole lot over here, but there should be quite a fair amount right there. And if you are new and tuning in for the first time, hello! My name is Jasmine, and I'm a digital creative mess right now. Words. I'm a variety streamer, creative streamer. Not only do I do digital coloring of someone else's lines, I do my own digital artwork. I also make jewelry, do watercolor paintings. Tomorrow we're going to be doing some acrylic paintings, and I also write. You can find me on YouTube and Instagram, Twitch, watch me work. You can find me on Patreon. And I also give critiques. Because I am an artist first. That is kind of the thing that defines me most. I've been doing art things since about 2009. I have an associate's degree in art from the local college. And a lot of personal experience. And work experience. Oh, shadow line. There we go. Kind of. Sort of. That's gonna be really dark. There we go. Sure. Oh, this quad is a mess. It's a mess. It's our mess. We can keep it. Okay. Still have a lot of areas to put in some drop shadows, but we'll save that for last. And if you're curious about anything I do, feel free to ask. Otherwise, enjoy the lurk. Lurkers always welcome, and lurkers #1. Yes, yes, there we go. It's got a little wrinkly fold right there. That's cute. How are we looking now? A little bit more three-dimensional, a little bit more three-dimensional. Not bad. I'm gonna smooth out that leg. Oof. But maybe through the eraser instead of smudging? Let's try the eraser instead of smudging. I would love to not rely on smudging. Not that smudging is bad or the incorrect technique to do anything. I just want to push myself, try something new, etc. There we go. And I might actually grab, yep, the 2 shadow colors. So we can build those up in a slightly more elegant way. Is that the color I'm looking for? No, that's the color I'm looking for. Just take our time. This leg is going to be mostly in shadow. Especially right over here. Because it has the deepest shadow because the entire body is blocking about this rectangle. Because everything is round. Nothing is true, everything is round. How does that go again? I have forgotten the Assassin's Creed creed. How dare I? Now I'm gonna be stuck thinking about what it is. Nothing is true, everything is permissible? Possible? Holy crap, I thought I would never forget that. Are those lines too hard? No, they're not. They seem too hard. Okay. We're gonna dive down, grab the midtones, and actually put the detail in that is scar tissue. And these scars are deep. They are actually in the leg in a V instead of popped up. We can tell that by the contour lines that the line artist left, that Ronnie left for us. It's a little clue that these are deep gashes. And that's generally how gashes will heal unless, you know, proper stitching care is applied. Just a little bit, just a little bit. Okay. I put the shadow on top and the light on the bottom to make it look like it's carved into the skin. Except we have a really odd angle for lighting. So it's a little bit more difficult. Just a little bit. And radio, hello. How are you doing today? Hope you had a good weekend. And scars are also very shiny. Unless they're really old, and then they'll kind of dull down. Oh, that's not good. Sorry to hear that. Read that, I should say. Yeah, chill here, let everything go. Don't color outside the line. That'd be bad. How's that? Is that better? It's kind of better. Might end up coloring the lines of the actual piece, because I am very fond of not black lines. Which we can do. That actually kind of works. That actually kind of works. Okay. Back to shading. There's a missing light spot. This should be fairly bright. It's like, this is the area where the light's hitting. It's like this general area. So this should be bright. So we'll make it bright. And not forget that there's a bicep right here. Because there is. Because I totally did not almost forget that there was a bicep there. close to being done. And it is fairly close to being done. We just need to smudge some shadows, or blur some shadows rather, to make it look like clothes are sitting on top of forms. Not necessarily like that. Come here. Hand me a shadow, please. Thank you. There we go. Okay. Where else? Right here. It's a little blur. Oh. Where does this shadow fall? I know down here it would fall somewhere down there. And my arm itches like a mofo. Oh, God. There we go. Jeez. It's like one of those instances where your nose itches, but you can't scratch it because you're holding 2 cups of coffee or something. Similar. It's awful. There we go. There's that. Yeah, we put a shadow in here like, I don't know, 4 or 5 times. And then this belt. This belt, this belt. Not that much. Please tell me this is a dark color. Okay. I'd be livid if it was not the color it was supposed to be. Oh, the green. Cannot forget the little green reflections from the gems. I will try not to. Green, 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 green. I have to remember the green. Okay. Do we have a layer for that? No, we've got a layer for the lithofilm, which is gonna die right now. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna name it green and not color pick anything except for, unless I still have it, which I don't, that's okay. I'm gonna color pick this, and I put it on a separate layer just in case it looks too weird, which it could. It could totally look too weird depending on where it goes, how heavy-handed we are, stuff like that. Like, there wouldn't really be much here, but there might be a little here. Probably not so much on that face. The eye probably won't be casting much of anything, so where's the other dudes? The other dudes, aha! We already put a little light down here, just tint it green, and we'll tint in between the bone green. Ooh, not that much. Between this bone, green. There, green, that's green. We have one more, yep. Right here's gonna be green. Where else? Travel around. Maybe. Sure, just a little bit. Don't have a whole lot going on. That's kind of built into the side. Now, is that everybody? Yes. Well, it's in the places where it counts. Now, I can't really see it in the black, but I can really see it right here. And it doesn't have to be too green. That's actually pretty cool. Okay. Okay. Refrain from smudging the skin. Refrain. Just add a little more light around Mya. Maybe a little Mya. Okay, places that I forget. Maybe right there. Ooh, rib. Ribs. I should say, this actually should be... Oh no, it's on the wrong layer. Oh, that's okay. This should actually be fairly bright. Fairly, okay. Now, there are a few questions. Do we color the spots a different color than they are? Because we certainly can. Very easily. I've got the lines set up so we can just color the spots. We can also shade them in any particular manner. I don't know. could technically call it done. We don't need to. Plus there's a thing that is habit as well, and it's called skin texture, and I only do skin texture for these guys in particular. Oh no. Oh no. Grab that. Grab that. Grab anywhere else that I foobarred. No. Okay. Good. Skin texture. Overlay. Go to the paint bucket. The pattern fill. And you pick leather. And then you fill it. But, come over here to the hue and saturation. Pull the saturation down all the way. Get the lightness up to 75. This is a process. Go to the contrast and you up it by, what is it, 3 or 6? 3, 6. Okay, up it to 60 on the contrast only. And then you do another layer. You set that one to overlay because the other one was set to overlay. And then we go over to our paintbrush and we scroll until we find this glitter brush and keep it huge, and we go head to toe. Head to toe. It does not matter that it is green. It is fine that it is green. Because we'll do the exact same thing. We'll get the hue saturation down to 0, the lightness up to literally 75, and the contrast I think on this one was only 3. Oh dear. Reset. Yes. Okay, and then we do another skin texture. And we set this one to overlay, but then we put the opacity down to 20. Then you go back to our paint bucket, pattern fill, and then you grab the fractal pattern and fill. And that's normally what happens for the skin texture, except it seems a little dark. Why do you seem a little dark? Is it on this one? I tried to make it... Yeah, it's on this one. Try to make it so that what you overlay doesn't impact the colors beneath it. So the hope is by the time you put the third layer on, he's still relatively the same colors as when you started. Sure, and it's not necessary. It's just a thing that I like to do to give him that scaly skin appearance without having to use a brush or anything else. But if there are like huge gash-like scars, I usually go in and erase some of that texture because scars are smooth. They basically lose all of their skin texture. And they develop their own new skin texture. So let's turn off the other layers so we can actually see what we're doing. Actually, that one's probably okay. That one's probably okay. We probably want to erase this one. It's just a small tiny thing. Small tiny detail. Still debating on whether or not to color the spots. Or just the lines in general, other than what they already are. Okay. Okay, this texture definitely needs to go. Let's get all the skinny areas first. There's a little gap skip right there. Okay. A little bit shinier. It stands out a lot more. Go back to our normal brush for the mouse, because the mouse actually retains its own brush. And my stylus retains its own brush and colors. Let's Disney the lines just a little bit. And by what I mean Disney the lines is basically make them a darker shade of the original color. And that's it. Disney rarely uses black lines. At least in the old Disney, they always use colored lines. And the lines are already colored a really dark yellow. That doesn't mean we can't change that. And it might fit better. That might actually be too dark of a yellow. It does need to be darkest, or darker, than the darkest shadow. There we go. So you can see it. It doesn't blend in too much. Try to be real careful. We can actually paint the lines like we would the rest of the piece if we really wanted to. Shade them and everything. And that would take a while. Sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes it is totally worth it. Might not get too crazy. That makes the lines sit in the piece a little bit better. Because like the black lines they're not black. The darker lines here are distracting. At least to me they are. So, we'll find that super dark color, which might actually be too dark. Or we'll just pick the flat color and pop it over here, kind of, and see what it looks like. It's a little more red. It's not quite the color we want. It's because there's not a lot of shadow that we can put more of a light color. Now back here, the lines would stand out as light because there's a ton of shadow back there. And the black lines, or the darker lines, aren't really bothersome because they blend in with the really dark colors. So, that sits a little better in there. Not much. Not much. Oh god, wrong. Foreground fill, threshold 0, please. Forgot. And also that. There. Nope. There. Doot. Doot. Where did we not? Right there. Okay. Losing voice. Alright, there we go. Oh, Flemmy. Where else would that be beneficial? That might be a little beneficial over here. Maybe? Might also be too light. Here, though. If we zoom out, it's really subtle. You can put that back just fine. Put that back just fine. But out here, in no man's land, might want it, yeah, just a little lighter, except this line is in front of this spike. Just like this line is in front of this spike. And same with that guy. And then we can just kind of blend them together. And that sits a little bit nicer. So I might only do this for the really light colored parts. Which is to say, all the bone, all the copper. Let's get huge real quick. Whee! And that. Okay. And if anyone is curious as to how I'm coloring just the lines and nothing else, I would be more than happy to demonstrate how to get your lines to be like this. Because for a while, I really wanted to color the lines, and I had no idea how to make that happen until I went searching on YouTube and found a video in a different language, and GIMP was in a different language, and I had to literally follow along with my GIMP in order to figure out what they did in theirs. Nope, that stays like that. Okay. This could probably... not that dark. Not that dark. That's too dark. Is that dark? That's that. Just want that guy. That might be good enough. Does that look weird? I can't really tell if that looks weird or not. Actually, yeah, we'll smudge. We'll smudge somewhere. Not right there. Right here. Or we'll blur. We'll blur these colors together. There we go. There we go. As for the background, I have no clue. No clue. I do like the blue. It definitely pops everything forward, but I'm not sure as to what it should be. Or what the foreground really should be. Foreground slash background. That's a spot. Silver. Silver should probably get some color in there, yeah. Okay. I think that will do. Oh god. Spot. There we go. If the spots were a different color, they might be on the green side. Okay, that's better. Sometimes coloring the lines, for me, is a hit or a miss. I either do it really well or it just looks awful. And it's been the most difficult time finding consistency. Just kind of... we'll just kind of do that. Oh, no. Okay. Really would like those spots to be a different color. Yeah, finding consistency is awful. It's an awful journey. You gotta get real used to that. It's either gonna be great or not great. It's probably the biggest wake-up call ever. Yes? Yes? Hand me this. I just do inside, 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 inside. Trying real hard not to bomb this piece. I missed a lot of pixels everywhere. Sometimes when you color the lines, little awful mistakes pop out. And It's like, I thought I fixed you like this. Really? There we go. I know it. No one will ever see it. No one will really ever see those because I post these pieces at about this size. You don't get to see a lot of things at this size. Still thinking of a background and spots. Green spots, maybe. Yeah? Well, I can duplicate the layers, so if I don't like it, we can salvage things. Oh god, the green. Kinda, okay. Approach this, we'll grab the skin color. And we will pop it down in the green. Not sure if I want more blue or more yellow. More yellow, probably. More yellow. And get a dark color. And get a light color. This dark probably isn't dark enough. It's not. That's okay. Tedium. It's only if we want to. Now we'll make you little, and then yep, and then yep. Hand me a smaller brush. There we go. More or less. Definitely gonna pop that little green and then put a little light over it. Some instances we don't know what is a spot and what isn't. That's always fun. That's always a fun part. We don't know. It could be, it could not be. We think it is, but we're not sure. I can see all of them. I think I've got most of them. Then there are these buggers in the back where it's like, you need to be real dark. Real dark, but still green. Okay, kind of like that dude. Or that's a shadow. Never mind. Let's see. Okay, how is... The green spots actually kind of blend in a little too much. Which is good to know. So, since I don't want to erase everything, we'll just duplicate the layers again and try again, this time with orange, I suppose. But we have plenty of orange. Maybe it was just the wrong shades of green. Maybe they needed to be up here instead. Except that's kind of where we had the mid-green anyways. Might be that the spots are too light, because not many critters have light spots except for fish, deer, some birds. Trying to think of something. Or we can color spots. Well, just to see what works, we can kind of get a mishmash and see what we like. So we have some yellow green, we have some blue, we've got some blue green, ooh. We've got an orange. We've got a really deep magenta. We can do a really dark purple. We can do a straight up red. Doesn't have to be this dark though. Kind of digging the magenta or this teal color. Or possibly the purple, simply because it would kind of be the easy way out, because we would just need to shade everything that particular purple. And these spots are not scales, they are a skin pattern, so they would still hold true to the texture of the skin instead of being shiny. So they wouldn't have little highlights and shadows of their own. They would be shaded as the surrounding skin is shaded, which is always fun. Or they can just kind of be like a tattoo on there where you don't actually get to see a whole lot of shading. I'm still debating between colors here. Oh, that's the wrong color. Hand me this. There we go. There we go. I totally lost my train of thought. They could be multicolored. I really like the magenta. The magenta it is. So I'm gonna go around and hand color all the spots that I can see. Fun! While not coloring other lines. And to make things on the easier side, we can peel off the skin texture and all the shading so we can very clearly see where everything is. There we go. Because there's going to be a lot of spots. Ronnie loves to put spots on everything. Which is actually a good thing because it adds a good fair amount of detail. It fills the void and empty spots. Save often. I do not think I've been doing that this time around. That's okay, we haven't crashed yet. Nor do I expect to. Because these lines aren't huge, massive memory eaters like some are. There we go. Okay, we'll just kind of work our way down, across and down. Kind of search pattern style. Not to color other lines. And hopefully this will look good overall. Don't mind the shading you see. It was an accident. Okay, got all that. Why? Don't foobar on me, mouse. Thank you. Sometimes the mouse will butt in and try to take over. Okay, I'm a little bit pressed for time because I do need to go at 4 o'clock my time, which is about 20 minutes away. Because I'm going to be making homemade pizza, and that includes the dough. The dough needs to rise for an hour before dinner, or at least before baking. That was the tip of the nail. My bad. Oh, and I have the sauce I'm going to be making, too. Damn. Good thing I remember that, otherwise I'd be hosed. Okay, is that it? Yep, we cut them off at the leg. So I believe this is the only thing left. Might be a little bit on the sloppy side. Try not to, though. There's a spot right here. Yeah, there must must be. There must be. Okay, don't lock the wrist. Nice, gentle grip. So you don't death grip your stylus and carve it into your tablet. That's a no-no. That's a no-no. And a tip for protecting your tablet if you're a digital artist, get a page protector sleeve. If it will fit inside of one, that will help save the surface of your tablet. Don't do that to me. Quite a bit. Throw in some mist for the foreground, just because we're out of time now. Is it? No, it's not everything. There's a whole bunch of them up here. Okay. Need a little brush to get into little spaces. Yeah, I see all the mistakes in flatting now. Thank you very much, colored lines. Is that it? I believe so. Any there? Nope. Oh, right here. Hopefully those aren't too light. Okay, so now we've got magenta spots with some shading and some skin texture. And these are just a little bit too light, so we'll pop them just a slightly darker color. Like so. Maybe this dude too. How's the elbow doing? Oh god, don't, nope, no, resist. Resist. Okay, cool. Very, very cool. Oh, no, don't. New layer that. New layer this with mist and save. And why not? We'll see what it looks like. It'll probably look really weird. It will look weird. Apparently it's too large of a brush. Out. Okay, fairly light. Pink may not be the best color. Just saying. Just saying, pink may not be the best color. it's okay if pink isn't the best color. Because we can easily change that. Not the lightness, let's pump it all the way over there. I think it needs a little bit more softening, texture-wise. Looks like it's standing in an ocean. Oh, green is actually a decent color because methane. Methane. We'll do a blue-green. Do a blue-green. And a slightly larger brush. Or we'll just, we'll blur enough. I don't think so. To really destroy it on our own, I suppose. Or maybe that part. There may not be enough of that, and hopefully, there we go. Trying to look for a very softy texture, rather than harsh anything. And, as always, the eraser is your best friend. It's like, is it eating up too much of that blue background that's very generic? And just erase a little bit. I have no idea what to do for that sky either. It's not really a sky. Here's a thought. Here's the thought, here's the thought. We'll grab that light color, this dark color, and where is my favorite brush? Here's my favorite brush. It's a bush brush, and it instantly creates some pretty nifty bushes. So this is behind, it's just straight up on the background, okay. Okay, that's okay. We still have mostly consistent light source, where it's up here going this way. Yeah, I'll just make a few, like, yes, there are bushes here areas. And maybe call that good. Maybe? I don't know. We can let it sit for a little while. Bushes are weird. It's mainly because I didn't put like too much shape or thought into it. Oh, and the eraser is not your best friend here because there is no background behind it. Back and forth, light, dark, until we like it. Maybe, perhaps, hopefully. That would be a good thing. What size is this? Okay. I guess the bushes can just go away because there's nothing on there. I still want this to be a lot softer looking. So it really makes a difference in texture. Could do that. But it just needs to be... hopefully... I probably wrecked that. Let's see if I did. Yeah, that gets rid of a lot of everything, so... we'll leave it. And just kind of make it fade and be really soft back here, of course. Why not? Odd background that I'm not entirely fond of. Sure why. I did like the blue. It was the wrong color of blue. I don't think so. Wrong color of mist. Just looks weird. Just a lot of color going on. We'll leave it. We'll leave it and look at it later, and if it still needs tweaking or I get a better idea, I'll go and fix that. But yeah, I'm gonna call it for today. Tomorrow is going to be acrylic painting on Christmas ornaments. I'm gonna be trying to paint some flowers on Christmas ornaments for practice, because one, I have Christmas ornaments I would love to finally paint into, because I do need the practice. So thank you everyone for watching, I greatly appreciate it. If you would like to know when I go live, you can follow me on Twitch and on Twitter at JasmoColors, and I will catch you guys all next time.